Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Chuck, and today I'm coming to you from the fire station I used to work at. Station in Payson is now called Station 11. It used to be Station 1 when I worked here. And I'm going to tell you about a call that happened right here. And in order to do that, we've got to go inside. So let's go ahead and walk over here. And now, we used to have quite a few people that used to come in here to get their blood pressure taken, and that's pretty common in fire stations. The reason why is because people don't want to go to the doctor, and they feel more comfortable around firefighters than they do around medical personnel a lot of times, and plus we don't charge them anything. So let's go on in the office. This is the fire department headquarters. There's Monica. Say hi, Monica.
Hi.
Down that door at the end of the hallway down there is the chief's office, and it used to be my office. I was the chief here when this part of the station was built. The call I want to tell you about actually happened right over there where those two chairs are. Now, I'm going to sit down in this other chair over here so I can keep my thoughts together and try to make some sense out of this. But this is the second take on this. The first take I had the light wrong, so let's try this one, see if I can get it right this time. But anyway, we'd come to work one morning, just in a regular morning, nothing unusual about it. And shortly after shift change at 8 o'clock, we got called to a medical call, and it was possible domestic violence. So the engine responded, and per our policy, our supervisor, who in those days we called the duty chief, he would respond as well, and I was the duty chief that day. So I tagged along after the engine. We went over there, and as soon as we got there, I realized there was nothing immediate, and there was no hazard or no danger of any kind. So I cleared the call immediately, and as soon as I went on the radio that I was clear, our office lady at the time, that was way before Monica's time. She's been here a long time, but not that long. And anyway, she called me on the radio and asked me if I could come back to the station for a walk-in blood pressure. So I sure, okay. So I came back over here and came in the office, and there was an old gentleman sitting in the chair, and I can show you that with the bright light in the background. Anyway, he was in that chair to the right side, sitting right in that chair right there. And so he didn't look good, and he was diaphoretic, which meant he looked all sweaty, and it was kind of cold out, so I knew it wasn't sweat, and he just said he didn't feel good. So I sat in the other chair there, and I was talking to him and asking him, how if he could describe how he was feeling, and at the same time I reached over and I took his wrist and I started feeling his pulse. And so I asked him a question, and he didn't answer me, and I realized that he had kind of a far away look in his eyes, and about that time his eyes rolled back in his head, and I couldn't feel his pulse anymore. And I mean, I was literally holding on to his wrist, taking his pulse, and it quit. And so about that time, the engine had checked on the air that they were clearing their call. And so, okay, let's try this again. I had a little hitch in the giddy up there and got my story a little bit wrong. Hopefully I can string these two together and make some sense out of it. But anyway, the engine had just cleared their call. And so I just grabbed my radio and I called the engine and I said, I think we got what we call the code, which is a cardiopulmonary arrest. I think we got a code at the office, respond back to the office. And so I got the gentleman out of the chair, got him laid down on the floor, and opened up his shirt and put my ear right down to his chest to make sure that there was no heartbeat. And sure enough, he was in full arrest. And about the time I got all that done, the engine crew was here, and they hit the door like the Marines hitting the beach at Iwo Jima, and did their full paramedic magic on him, and by golly, we got him back. It's a pretty amazing thing. And we got him transported to the hospital, and he survived. And about a week later, he actually came in the office to thank us. And one of the few times we see a lot of tragedy in this business, and this town is a retirement town, and there's a lot of old people here, and they do a lot of cardiopulmonary arrest calls. We call them codes. And unfortunately, not very many of them are successful. Well, this one was successful right here in the lobby, in the office. And the guy lived for another couple of years. a little sidebar to that is that, you know, he lived in a little community about 12 miles out of town here, and where he lived at on a dirt road, the dirt was all red, kind of a red clay kind of dirt. And he had an old white GMC pickup, and it was just totally coated with this red mud to the point where it looked orange. And so while I was sitting here, I asked the guys, why don't you go ahead and wash that for him and clean it up? And, you know, it kind of dirtying up our parking lot right now, so let's just clean it up for him while it's here. Well, when he came back, he came in, he said the only complaint he had about what we did is that we washed his truck because he felt that the dirt was what was holding it together. And he and I had a good laugh over that. And so just a little quick story, and like I said, it happened to right here. I think those are even the same chairs. They're probably not, but if I remember correctly, they look like the same chairs. And it's the same, probably the same blood pressure measuring device, sphygmomanometer, that square thing on the wall right there. But just another little firefighter story to bring to you. And as I tell you, take care of each other, love each other. I'll be back with you with another one here pretty quick. So right now, I'm just going to tell you, have a good day and peace out.